Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about cloud-based application. I'm Susie.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Taryn.
I'm Sylvia.
This is our content, and we will explain this topic in the following. Firstly, I will introduce to you what is cloud-based. Nowadays, most of people use cloud in the internet instead of installing a CD of their computer. Essentially, the cloud is in fact the internet. In simple terms, the cloud is the ability to host a software platform or service from a remote location that can be freely accessed and used anywhere via internet access. Let's take an example. Microsoft Office uses Microsoft OneDrive for storage. We can use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote accessed through web browser without installing anything. Some people may make a mistake. Storing data on a home or office network does not count as utilizing the cloud. However, some network-attached storage (NAS) will let you remotely access things over the internet. And there's at least one brand from Western Digital named MyCloud. But remember, it's not a cloud. And other popular cloud also include these two, Google Drive and iCloud. And then if you want to use it, firstly you should create or access a username and password. And if you pass it, then you can run the program through your web browser and you can save your documents, photos or music on it. And then I will pass to Sylvia.
Thanks, Susie. Let me introduce the history of cloud-based application. The computer scientist John McAfee comes up with the concept of time sharing in 1960s. In 1969, J.C.R. Littleton introduced ARPANET, Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. In 1917, using utilization software like VMware. In 1997, the first known definition of the term cloud computing. In 1999, the arrival of Salesforce.com pioneered the concept of delivering enterprise application via simple website. In 2006, Amazon expanded its cloud service. In 2030, a worldwide public cloud services market total $18.8 billion, up 18.5% on 2012. In 2014, global business spend for infrastructure and services related to the cloud research an estimate $103.8 billion, up 20% from the amount spent in 2030. Nowadays, cloud-based application tasks may encompass email, file storage, and sharing, order and entry, customer relationship management, and data collection. The global public car market hit $146 billion in 2017. The rapid pace in which technology has changed in the last 5 years makes the next 5 near impossible to predict. The security and reliability of cloud computing will continue to evolve, ensuring that data will be even more secure with numerous techniques employed. The total global computing spend will reach $241 billion in 2020. Now I will pass Terry to talk about the theory of the cloud-based application.
Thanks, enough. And I would like to tell about the theory of the cloud-based. So how does it work? It has two sections, like the front end and the back end. The front end means the client computers and also with the application which require for accessing for the system, just like we mentioned in our introduction of like email account. And the back end means the computers of the providers and the servers and system for storage. Here's a picture mentioned about how it's work. You can see there's a lot of digits about like desktop tablets and phones, which are the client's computer or digits to access in the cloud. And we can use cloud in monitoring, cooperation and communication, and structure of the platform is like the database quick and so on. So here is a principle about how cloud works. As cloud is mentioning like the processing of data transfer. However, that's not a definition of it. And this guy, Yang Chao, suggests a principle of 532. He is working for Microsoft US developer, which a profession in this area, and he suggests that the principle is referring to 5 most important characteristics: 3 delivery methods of cloud and 2 deployment models. Just a characteristic is simple, but deployment model means it is private or public. However, there's still some limitations of cloud, like it is highly dependent on server providers. Like if problems occurs, if the providers are not support with some kind of system or product, like Gmail certainly do not support Word and some format of the data in 2020, and it confuses a lot of users. Also, the potential privacy and security risk is because you need to give the data to the third company to manage or to storage for you. So some very important data will have a high risk, and it depends on internet connection, which may not a must in some developing country. They don't have internet. And we would like to make a comparison between virtual hosting or named it as shared hosting and cloud hosting. Virtual hosting or shared hosting means some like storage the website in one server. However, cloud hosting do the same thing, but it storage in servers in a lot of servers. So what is the differences? The security problem is always cloud being blamed because it seems very easy to access. However, this suggests that this doesn't, because cloud hosting have security control like in deterrent control, preventative control, and etc. It also have other further protection to protect client's data. However, in shared hosting, because it's your use only one server, and it's really easy to access once you get inside, and you can find a lot of websites. And the performance shared hosting, although it provides like server and SSD server, however, the resources is shared, so it will be a limited factor of the speed. But in cloud, you can expect fast because it won't affect even have a high traffic, and moreover it is recommended for a lot of traffic, like you are in business internet, and cloud is suggested but not in shared hosting. So we can see both in the security and performance part, seems cloud have a higher performance. I would like to pass to Jackie to talk about the impact.
So how does it affect people's life? Cloud computing can help us organize our schedule. The users can upload and save the schedule on cloud so that it can let us work more effective. Moreover, we can share the frame with others and edit the work at the same time. It is helpful for our work when we are doing group project and presentation. Also can help entrepreneurial. It is because there are many shops set up on internet in Hong Kong. The owner may want to upload the information of products to website. So you guess what? Technology we need. The answer is cloud. How does it affect the society or the world? The large organizations and companies may need to storage many large amount of data on cloud to prevent data loss. If they don't save the data on the cloud, there are a high rate of lose all the data and information of customers. It allows us to use network-based communication such as email and WhatsApp. It is helpful for people communicate. Social network sites can have a ability to find somebody user already know or wants to know. We need cloud to sharing and storage a lot of person information. The cloud also can help people link with others and work together more effectively. So we need cloud to storage and management our information in real time. Also, it can good for business. According to a study by International Data Organization, 69% of companies are already using cloud technology. Companies use the cloud have a 55% higher rate of revenue growth than their competitors. It is because it can reduce the cost of storing entity data and buying storage equipment. Cloud can edit information anywhere in real time. It is helpful for the employee have business talks on business trip. Hosting on the cloud is more environmentally friendly and reduce the carbon footprint. And here is a research proof that can reduce the use of energy. This technology is very famous around the world and very useful for organizations, but Hong Kong is lagging behind a foreign country. A lot of CEO of Hong Kong company does not believe the safety of cloud technology. This situation just like even though the software was upgraded, but the staff can catch pace with the world, so they still use a traditional way for backup. Only 53.5% of Hong Kong companies will back up more than 3 times each week. About 20% of Hong Kong companies have regular data backup less than once a month or never. This global trend has made Hong Kong company more vulnerable to hacking and virus software attack, and has a potential to cause major financial losses and reputation damage.
So we would like to conclude that we believe cloud is simplest, easiest method than the traditional one, like the hosting in website, and also we found that in the impacts to Hong Kong is beneficial if we have more like people well known with it, as it's very convenient, and just like Jackie mentioned, is popular in the foreign countries, so we can make use of it, and it can be very useful, as you know Hong Kong renting is very expensive, and you can simple storage in other like cloud, and you can cut a lot of costs. So we do believe cloud is a very useful technique in nowadays, and we would like to have some questions. Do you have any questions?
Do you think does clouds have more benefits or have more disadvantage?
Oh, to Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
So we would like we believe like we mentioned in Hong Kong, although it's very famous in the world, but maybe yes, it do more positive effects to Hong Kong, because Hong Kong needs background service, right? And so you have a lot of data to manage, and cloud can provide a convenient way, because we mentioned in the theory we do like in storage of hosting, clouds have a high performance, high security. Even I can tell the cost is very similar, because shared hosting need to pay a direct amount per month. However, cloud is charged for service. So once you do not get a lot of apps, it's almost the same with the same amount of money, but higher performance, higher things you can provide to you. So we believe cloud is more positive, or more pros than cons. Is there any other question?
Can you talk about the difference between the traditional storage ways and the new storage ways?
Oh, I see. Actually, cloud is like the storage mesh for the old traditional, like using maybe I take my part as an example, the hosting way of a website, because there are a lot of difference between the cloud with traditional method you mentioned. Like traditional method, you storage for different things, like storage of website or storage for a lot of data, it have a difference. So we cannot tell all difference to you, but like in hosting, this way, like we apply the traditional method, share hosting with one server, and cloud hosting with a lot of servers, and you can know that the performance, the security, and all have advanced from the traditional one. So it should be better than the traditional one once we compare with cloud, because clouds have a larger storage and a lot of benefits than the traditional one. Hope we can answer your question and you know about it. Thanks a lot. That's end of